Hey, welcome everybody to the February 9th Ortelius Outreach Meeting.
All right, let me bring up the doc so I can go over the notes from the last week. But today I really just want to walk through the changes to the website that were made based on our discussions. Wait, I don't want to get a blank document. Sorry, guys. I should have this up already. I was too curious about talking about Charleston. I got distracted. All right. Just give me a minute. I'll get some notes on here.
Sorry, Tony, make me curious. Is your background to your house?
That's the place we just bought.
Okay.
He's
You're
moving.
changing moving place. Are you moving to new place now?
Yeah, moving, Charleston is a port city on the southeast coast of the U.S.
Okay. Sounds good. I like Port City. Anywhere close to sea is always good for me.
Yeah, what's it
Yeah,
like 1,500 miles from where you're at right now?
Oh,
pretty
really?
much, pretty
Okay.
much.
It's bigger than your whole country, his drive.
By
Yeah.
quite a lot, actually.
Yeah,
But not bigger than South Africa.
very true.
All right.
You find it, Tracy?
I did. I'm just putting everybody's, I'm just doing attendance right
All
now.
right. I'll share
Just
your
making
screen.
sure. Okay.
Looks really improved though, compared to what you currently are.
Oh, it's gonna be totally different, completely different world.
Yeah.
All right,
I
let
think
me share.
that is a UK summer view, okay? But not now.
Culture's gonna be different, climate's different, everything's different.
Tony's
Sounds
gonna
like
start
you've
long
changed
longboarding.
countries, yeah.
Awesome. Start surfing, Tony. Awesome.
All right, we are
There
now
you
up to
go.
300. We are up to 380 GitHub stars, and I checked on Friday.
Whoa.
We've, that was one more. We have 20 more to go to get to 400. We could do it. As were reported as of Friday, February. I guess that would have been.
Are you able to see who has been kind of signed up to it? Or
Who has what?
who has kind of has been signed up themselves to our repository?
You don't. So for first of all, you don't have to sign up to the repository to give it a star, but we have about. I think if you want to look at the Git repo.
So if we see who has done, who hasn't done, then you kind of can give them another nudge, Sorry.
Yeah, I think everybody who's signed up to the repos has given it a star.
Yep,
We don't
that's
have
that's
300.
the one right there if you click on that.
It's just
I I can do one thing. We can create like 1,000 new AI bot who will create GitHub account and give star.
no, we'll get busted for that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've thought about that, but the hard part is you have to have an email account. So getting a Gmail account through an AI bot is much tougher than you would expect.
Well, we can find 20 people the hard way. So we have 81 contributors, and I'm guessing most of those have already given us a star. So we're at 380 now. So we're just trying to get to 400. So we don't have that far to go. It's just about finding new contributors and talking to people and getting the word out. Okay, the bigger topic was updates to the website, which I made updates to the website this past week. I hope everybody has had a chance to look at it. Thank you, Tony, for reviewing it, and Utkarsh, I think you gave me some comments. It has been completely rewritten, and the slugs have been changed. And I actually, last thing I did on Friday was added a note. What is it called? Notebook LLM, the Google's Notebook LLM. You can generate explainer videos, so I added an explainer video. might go take a look at it. There are 3 use cases here. Defend Life Systems, which I've updated this. The slug now is post-deployment vulnerability threat. The slug on the second one for use cases is about the digital twin. And I've regenerated a new architectural diagram for a digital twin, so it's much, much cleaner. And then the third use cases is compliance, and there is a discussion about compliance with a new screenshot added to it. So do take a look and let me know if you think any of the messaging is off or you see something that's really not correct. And I'll be happy, if you want to just create an issue in the Ortelius .io repo, I'll be happy to make the fix. Or if you have suggestions or you want to write a page, everybody can contribute to this. So, and if you want to know how, if you haven't set up your environment with a Hugo server and Visual Studio, let me know, and I'll be happy to help you do that. So we have a nice, fresh, new website. Hoping that some better, because I was looking at some of the, some of the AI, and it was coming up a lot with microservices because we focused so much on that in the early days. All of that's gone, and we should be getting potentially different hits. I also updated the GitHub repo. So this should meet the same, have the same discussion around it, just a little bit shorter. So please let me know if that, I actually added this. This is the weird thing I can't figure out. Maybe somebody can look at it. So this thumbnail says deploy hub, and I don't know how it got there. It's really weird. If you look at the code that I have on the README, I added this iframe. Is that it? Yeah. And for some reason, it pulls something from my deploy hub account, and I'm on both of them, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. I've messed with it for a while on Friday and decided I didn't want to do it anymore. So if somebody has any idea of what could be causing that, because it should have the same image as the website did. I'll show you really quick. This image should be the same. That's the thumbnail. And when I did it through here, it pulls up this image, which comes from a deploy hub one. So just an annoyance that would love to get rid of that because it shouldn't have deploy hub out there. No idea how that happened or why it happened. So anyway, that's where we are. This was the last bug that I couldn't figure out as of Friday, and I'll look at it again today, but if anybody knows, just let me know how to fix it or go into the README and update it for me. But we should be pretty close to having the README and the website be pretty in line and completely pivoted around not just managing deployed objects and drift, but really focused on the security challenge that we have now focused on in terms of the product. Any thoughts on that?
Just speaking of READMEs, I did update the READMEs and design docs for the new front end and back end. So
And
those are up to date as well.
Did you put a link in there so I can put it in the doc?
Yeah, let me get them. Let me just double check.
Steve, updated design docs.
There's one, and let me get the other one.
So we should be, the one area that we still have work to do on, that what I would consider more of an outreach requirement, is the documentation is way out of date. And I'm hoping Steve can generate some documentation for us and then we can clean it up.
Yeah, that's basically what I've started with updating those READMEs.
So I want to get
So,
that done earlier than later.
so one thing you and I traded some email about, Tracy, is in the governing board page, you don't mention your role as community director. And I
Okay.
still think you should.
Okay. I will do that.
And Steve, in addition to being a board member, I think merits having CTO,
Okay.
because you really are the architecture leader for the project.
And you're talking about in the governing board
That's
description,
it,
right?
sort of it's leadership, I guess, is what I think of it.
Okay.
But you could put a note on Steve's that all complaints should be directed to Sasha.
Yeah. If the site goes down, it's our platform engineering team that's messed it up.
I
Gotta
love
blame those
Ortelius.
guys. It's never the developers.
Of course not.
Um, not the
Of course not.
developers if you don't give him any privileges, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how you're throwing it over the wall. Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sasha, I did nominate you again, as we spoke for
Oh,
the
thanks,
governing board.
Tracy. I will admit I voted for myself because you said I should go again, and I did.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. It's good that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
We
nominated
won't vote
yourself and
for
I
you. Who
nominated you.
would?
I voted for myself.
Good for
Tracy
you.
said you. I was like, Tracy's right. I should give it a go again. Okay, so I voted for myself.
Yeah, no, that's good because the question they're going to have is, are you sure that he wants to do it? And if you nominated yourself and I nominated you, it helps.
Yeah, thanks, Tracy.
Sasha to the CDF Gov board and Sasha self-nominated. All right. So, I think that the next topic that we had from last week, we talked a lot about the CD Foundation and where we might go with that in the future. And that's still something I think we should constantly have discussions about. But it's not something that we can solve. I think we just need to continue thinking about our role and what direction do we want the board to take. I don't know if it's going to happen, but the team at the Linux Foundation did reach out to me and asked if I would consider being an advisory board member to the CDF, which I said I would be happy to. So the board's going to have to create a role for me. But I've been pushing them pretty hard. I've written a couple of, what would you call them, Sasha, direction guides that they could consider looking at.
That's cool.
New ways of thinking about what the CD Foundation should be talking about. Like if you look on their site, there's nothing that talks anything about new directions for the where is CD going today? They're not. None of that is out there. So I'm pushing them to at least begin rethinking how the messaging looks on the site. In particular around both security, which we have done a lot of work on. Kate Scarcella, who couldn't be here today, has done a ton of work on the CI/CD cybersecurity guide, and she wants to start adding AI security around that. What has to be done to secure, let's say, a model registry, for example. But we have AI in general. What can be added? Steve did a pretty cool demo around agentic platform engineering using a product called Temporal. These are the types of, I think Steve gave a good description of what we could be thinking about and how the CD Foundation looks at their role. And the only reason I say that we need to push them on it is because it'd be nice for them to survive and that we wouldn't have to change organizations, even though I'm sure we'd be welcome into the OpenSSF. The OpenSSF governs very differently than the CD Foundation. They have a stronger hand around it. You have to have your repo underneath their repos. They have certain people who get to manage the repos. The CD Foundation has never been that heavy-handed. I guess it's probably a bad word, but worried about security because it's a security group, the OpenSSF. So this is a happier place for us, to be honest. So we want them to survive. So we have to come up with ways to push them as a project. The projects are just as responsible for this as the members. So let's keep thinking about that. On that topic, we have started the CD Foundation CDCon in May. We had our first meeting, and we have Utkarsh is on that on the committee, the planning committee. Jing is on the planning committee. Myself and Brian Dawson. I don't think I missed anybody, did I? From the Ortelius group.
It's a
That sounds
strong
right.
team.
That sounds right. Yeah. And
Well,
what we're doing is we're breaking it up into 3 primary groups. We're breaking it up into one group that's just platform engineering talks, and they're going to curate or pick the platform engineering talks that get submitted. And that's the same for AI and for security. I have reached out to OpenSSF, asking them to bring some folks along that have good projects that the DevOps community should be learning about in security. I have reached out to some of the platform engineering foundations through LinkedIn, asking them to submit, and the same as is the case for AI. So if you know anybody from these organizations, they've extended the time for submitting a talk to 1 week, which I was very happy about. But that doesn't mean that just because we, and I'm going to push the team and tell them, hey, it doesn't really matter if we don't, if it's closed on the 15th. If we have somebody that we want to bring on, we can make that happen. I'm sure of that. After the 15th. So if there's a really good speaker on platform engineering that didn't know to submit before the 15th, I'll push to make sure that they get invited. So keep that in mind. The CDCon is our one place that we can celebrate DevOps and talk about where it's going and how security is important and how post-deployment vulnerabilities are critical and how do you get them fixed through the pipeline. And what kind of AI tooling should we be using? And that's really how we should be pushing the board. So I just bring it up because the next question I have for you, Paul, is we haven't done a hackathon, a BlogAthon in a while. I'm thinking that we might want to do a BlogAthon in April and focus that BlogAthon on those 3 topics: security, platform engineering, and AI.
Sounds like a good idea. All timely topics.
Yeah. Anybody have other thoughts about it?
Yeah, it's a good idea. That sounds great.
You think April would be a good time to do it? It's a month before CDCon.
For the pips.
Yeah, I think we can get there's plenty of time to get something out there and generated.
Oh yeah, I can put together a blogathon in no time. I just have to get an article out. It's not a big. It's really not a problem to get it done. Should we add any other topics?
I think those 3 are good places for people to land. I don't think we need to go into any other. The only other one I can think of that Brian may be interested is how to, and it kind of falls into the AI world other than AI security, but would be, how to leverage all the MCPs and LLMs to do your daily work.
So I think that's the point of the AI group.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if it's security, it would be regardless if it's an AI tool or not, it would be in the security section.
Yeah.
So tooling, AI tooling like model registries and and DevOps innovation like MCP servers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did a an interesting search last week. I basically asked ChatGPT how many MCP servers would it take to do the work of the top 1,000 GitHub actions, and it came back with 10. So if you're able to implement 10 MCP servers, you can replace 1,000 GitHub actions, which I thought was pretty interesting. It's a low number, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did this through ChatGPT or Claude?
You could just ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT has the capability of doing web searches.
Yeah, no, I know. I just didn't know if you used Claude, and I'm writing it down because you hardly ever use ChatGPT.
I get like 2 or 3 tries where it'll go out and search before it shuts me down because I don't use the paid subscription.
That's pretty
Um,
insightful.
I have like a couple of updates as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so finally I completed that agent that I was working on. Shall I share my screen quickly?
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, let's do it.
definitely.
Okay, so currently that code is in my organization. I need to move this code, but I'll show you the result. This is, one second, tested out on mostly all the repositories that we have in Ortelius organization. It supports quite well to the whatever tech stack we have in our organization. So this is the example of our backend application. This is idempotent, so no matter how many times you run this thing, it will not hallucinate. This is going to generate the same thing, provided the same kind of dependencies you have in your main branch. It also gives you build logs. So for Golang, we don't have like any like sort of build log, so that is why this is what it got. But it is self-sufficient to use the host environment to run the test unit test that is it has, and all the the necessary checks depending on the programming language, agnostic to the programming language. As far as it now, it supports like 5, 6 programming languages. Should cover like most of the repositories that we have. Mm, this is the, yeah. So issue will look like something like this. So it is easily identify. We can easily identify from the issue itself what was the issue, and why that particular dependency upgrade was not being applied to the particular code.
Where does that run? Is that run on a branch or is that run locally?
It runs locally, so
Okay,
whatever environment you will host this application there.
got it.
So these were 2 examples. Here's a code. My question was, where should I move this? Yeah, before that. Yeah, so I think we will cover up a couple of issues from here as well. Uh, I think this one would be completed,
Yep.
and this one, these two would be completed
Yeah.
after that. For
And
all.
I think also the notifications, the high and critical vulnerabilities, is like the third one from the top. Yeah, that one may be handled as well. It's
Okay.
because you're going through and creating
Yeah,
the pull request and issue and stuff. That may also be we may be able to close that one as well.
yeah. We can add integration for other stuff as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, since we have an action, so we can add action item.
Perfect.
Okay, apart from that, I had a good question regarding this, how you are envisioning this Ortelius MCP. Is this solution you're calling it as a, Ortelius MCP, or we should, convert this, not convert, like add a support for MCP for this backend service? Because I would need an API call to get the, couple of information, like,
Yeah. So um, we can either do an MCP that talks to the backend through an API call,
mhm.
or we just go direct to the API call at that level. So we can go either route on that.
Yeah, if you
Hey,
go with the first step, yeah, go ahead, Tracy.
I would say we implement MCP.
Yeah, because in that case, we'll have much more, tooling available.
I
Whatever
would
APIs.
Yeah, I'd prefer to go the MCP route because just working with them for that demo I did, it's so much easier to do integrations through the MCP server instead of having to do native API calls.
Yeah, we'll have the MCP, but adding MCP support to this, and then adding, whatever that was there in the agent
Oh,
um,
okay.
as an API here.
Yep.
That's what I was suggesting. So anyways, we'll have that agent as a tool available for the MCP. Plus, we'll also have all the APIs that you have here in the README, right?
Yep.
Available as the MCP as well.
Yeah. We could do that. So just send me a Discord or an email with what you need for um the API calls. Because we currently have GraphQL and some REST APIs that are available.
Yeah, so that is where my next question comes. So um, I was able to bring this up in my local, but I don't see any data. So if I can get some seeding data, or
Okay.
how to get the data, so I
Yep.
can just test my solution.
Yeah, I will probably just make a zip of the Rango database and post it on uh our Google Drive for you to download.
Okay, cool. Mm, the other thing, just wanted to update everyone. So this solution also support a self-hosted um, LLM. So if you have like Olama or Pi, all those models, and the best part is you don't need like 100 billion parameters. It works fine with few million parameters.
Yeah.
So in case later, so it will basically become a zero cost solution. We just have to um, take care of the hosting cost in that case. Right now, it also use Anthropic. Cost of the solution is point 0.2 to $0.25 per request. So I think which is a
Yeah.
little more.
That's what I was running into with my example. It was like the same cost range. It was really low.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it from my end.
Yeah.
Um,
So I will send you a. I'm trying to think what we could just move it. I think you have permissions to move it underneath
yeah.
the Ortelius
Yes.
um, uh, org, and then if we need to rename it or just pick the best name that you think.
Okay.
Um, the new stuff is just starting with the PDVD suffix. So I'd say we go with that route so we kind of group things together.
Okay.
Um, and that would make it easier for it to stand out.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, I was wondering why I was getting dependency updates from you this morning because I'd like to swap out turn off renovate and start using once we get further along a little bit, use your solution versus the renovate.
Renovate actually does like more detection, so that is where it was taking me time. So it also, considered the what we call the workflow GitHub action files, and also
Oh,
look at the Docker files.
yeah, yeah. But I can scope that in the renovate file to tell it just to look at actions, give it some directories, and not
Mhm.
have it worry about code.
Yeah, yeah.
Just so we
Once
have
we
a live test case to work with.
correct, correct, yep. Yeah, that I have tested it out. That I have tested out. That was my test scenario because I saw the Renovate was already doing all those things. So I did a comparison. My metrics are compared with Renovate, whatever Renovate was doing.
Nice. Perfect. Awesome job, Utkarsh.
Yes,
Oh,
progress.
finally.
Exciting. All right, I think that brings us to a close. So what we'll do next in 2 weeks is we'll start focusing on what we want the blogathon to look like. I'll pull some stuff together and we can cover that. Because as Utkarsh is sitting there doing that demo, I'm thinking we should include in our blogathon, you should say videos. I don't know a good name for videoathon. Contentathon, vlogathon, I don't know. But it should include any, written or recorded content. So maybe we have to change the name of it.
Yeah. Sorry, let me just walked up.
Okay. Anything else? This has been a very efficient 30 minutes.
I'm good.
All right.
All good.
See y'all later.
All right. Thank you. And Tony,
Bye,
good luck on
everyone.
your move in the next 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Yes, Varun.
Congrats.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Bye.